Hey there, Clashers, welcome back. Willie here, and as you can clearly see, I've decided to go ahead and start using the webcam. So, I was going to do that at 500 subscribers, decided to go ahead and do it now. I've been using the webcam on Twitch, so if you've seen me live stream on there, you've already seen me on the webcam. But if you have not seen me there, go ahead and check out my Twitch channel. It is linked down below, and you can catch me when I do my live streams. I try to stick to the schedule that I have posted there as much as possible. Otherwise, I'll either put on Twitter or in my Discord server when I'm going to be going off of that schedule that's posted there. So, enough about that. Let's take a look at this. The last video in this series I did, we were looking at Town Hall 4, and I was talking about how Town Hall 5, the next level, is when things really get interesting. Well, I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. Town Hall 6 is what I was thinking of, because as we can see here, you actually don't get the healers until Town Hall 6, and that's really the biggest thing as far as offense goes. We could probably build a defense, but you're not going to have other Town Hall 5s hitting you with a great offense, so there's not much point in defense either. So this is pretty similar to Town Hall 4. A lot of the things I said in that video still apply to Town Hall 5. We're not going to look at war bases or war attacks yet. We will get into that with Town Hall 6. So I'm actually just about done with Town Hall 5 here. You can see I'm still farming with goblins. And what we've done, the camps are upgraded, the barracks are all upgraded. I have the elixir collectors maxed out. The gold collectors not so much. They have some work to do, but I'm not going to worry about that. We've put a couple of levels on the defenses, but they're not maxed either. We're also not going to worry too much about that. We just want to get to the next level. And then the laboratory, it has the very last thing going in right now. So once the lightning spell is done upgrading, it will be done for Town Hall 5. But we will be going to the next Town Hall level before that. You can also see I've got a lot of gems. I don't remember when it was, but there was like a $3 gem pack for 4,000 gems. So I went ahead and bought that to try and speed things along. So I got the 5 builders. You can go free to play. That's all completely up to you. This account's going to be mostly free to play, but you know, I couldn't pass up the 4,000 gems for a few bucks, especially getting those builders is a huge deal. So we went ahead and did that. And what we're going to do in this video, we'll take a look at a couple of these goblin attacks again, just to kind of really point out what I'm doing with the attacks and how I'm getting the loot. We are going to upgrade the Town Hall, get this thing to Town Hall 6, and we will get started on the Town Hall 6 series. So once we get into Town Hall 6, we will definitely have multiple videos in this series. Probably not a whole lot until after I get Town Hall 6 maxed out, or at least close to max. So I'm going to work on the offense first. We'll talk about priority once we get to that point. But once we get offense going, we can really start looking at some more attacks and maybe some alternatives to farming as well. Because goblins obviously aren't your only option. So we'll take a look at some different farming armies. We'll take a look at pretty much the only war army. So giant healers is the only thing I can think of to use in wars for this level, but it's better than what we have now, which is pretty much nothing. I mean, we've got balloons and wizards. We do have giants, they're level 2. Yeah, it's just not really worth wasting the time on. With all that being said, let's take a look at some attacks. Alright, so this is like the third base in. I've actually been looking for bases that have at least 30,000, but this is a really soft target, so I'm not going to pass it up. It has 23,000 elixir and gold. I realize that my logo up in the top left corner over there is blocking the gold amount a bit. Somebody pointed that out to me, but I hadn't done anything with it. So the first thing I do, obviously, I check for a CC. Something in there could mess things up. And then with a base like this, these goblins are just going to overpower it. So I take all of my fingers and then spam them in. And that mortar, it does splash damage, but it's not going to be able to keep up with all those goblins. So they're going to chew through all those resources very quickly and then start getting inside the base. Of course, they want to get in there after that Town Hall, and then once they chew through that, they're going to work on everything else around them. So all of the resources are done, and then, of course, I'm just going to go ahead and let it go so I can get the stars and all that. And obviously, that's a very easy 3-star, very soft target, and you get a good little chunk of loot there. We'll try and find a better target, like we'll find more loot in the next one. Okay, so the next army's ready to go. Let's see what we can find. Alright, so this is a good one here. Let's see what we've got. So we can see, I don't know why we're looking at elixir specifically, because I actually need gold, but it's still 64,000 gold, so we're still going to go for it. Unfortunately, we have a wizard tower here protecting the gold storages with a mortar, so actually we're going to go ahead, because look at all that splash damage, we're going to go ahead and skip this one. Actually, I have to go back out and research. Okay, so I backed out, and a couple more searches later, we have 68,000, so a little bit more on the gold. But the big thing is, this is a much more ideal base to go after. So we have just one mortar, we have no wizard towers. This is something the goblins can easily handle. And we have a Valkyrie in the CC if we were to use that. If we were to want to use that, I should say. So, with the mortar on this end of the base, it's better to start on this end of the base over here. That way, when the goblins finish picking off all of the resources, they're going to end over here by the mortar, and then they can actually target it sooner. So what we're doing right now is picking off anything on the outside of the walls, and then now that that is done, we can start sending them inside of the walls. So you still want to spread them out a bit. There's actually a break in the wall down here. No, the goblins broke through that wall. So spread them out a little bit, let them get started on the far end away from the mortar. So there they go, just sprinkling them in. You don't want to group them up too much, obviously the mortar will get more of them taken out that way. So we'll go ahead and send some over here by the mortar now. And then that'll finish up, and then they'll target the mortar, and then they can move through everything else on the base. So the last resource building is going down now. They'll take down the camp. Let's see, we got a couple of them to split off to the mortar. We'll see if they can work through that before the rest of the goblins die. Maybe not. Okay, we got more going in. So there they go, mortar is down. I don't know if it'll be 3 stars, but we at least got all the loot, and that's the biggest thing. We don't really care too much about trophies. I do want to get that star bonus, though, so that is kind of a big deal. So I think that's all the goblins dead. We'll go ahead and end it. I'm not going to waste the Valkyrie. And yeah, so we got a good bit of loot there. So we're at 699. I did hit a star bonus in the last attack. Not the one we just did, but the one before that. So that puts 110,000 in the treasury. We'll go ahead and collect that. It gives me more than enough to upgrade the town hall. So we will let that upgrade for just a little bit, and then hit the gem button on that, and we will start taking a look at Town Hall 6. So we'll be back with that in just a second. Okay, so welcome back. We are Town Hall 6. So let's take a look at some of the things we're going to do early on at this Town Hall level. So you can see I built some walls already. That's pretty much what I always do right off the bat, build the new walls. And the reason I have them in sections of 5 like this is because at the early levels, it's easy just to select the whole row, and then you can upgrade them 5 at a time like that. And it's just a lot easier, and it keeps them organized. So you can see what level your walls are at. And I kind of did the same thing with these walls here. I kind of just put them there, no real reason for that. But yeah, putting them in groups of 5, it helps do reasonably quick upgrades for the lower levels. You can bring them up to speed a lot faster that way. I'm going to build the new defenses as well. Some people might say that you want to build your new defenses later to keep your war weight low. That's not really relevant anymore at any point in the game. As soon as you get to any new Town Hall level, you should build your new defenses. Well, I shouldn't say as soon as, because at this level, before you even get to the defenses, you want to start working on your offense. So you can go ahead and build your defenses when the gold piles up, but we're not super worried about that right now. So what I'm going to upgrade first is the army, well, not the army camps, I'm going to do the laboratory. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And if you do an upgrade on the laboratory while an upgrade is in progress, like a troop or spell or whatever, like I've got going on here, the spell should continue to upgrade while the laboratory is upgrading. At least that's how it used to work. But we're going to go ahead and hit, well, that was the wrong upgrade button. We want this one. So the laboratory is going up to the next level. Next, we do want the clan castle to go up. So that's what our gold is going to be saved for. We want to upgrade the camps. I believe they go up another level. So we will get those going. We want to get the heal spell unlocked. And so those are going to be the biggest focus early on in this Town Hall 6 level. After that, I believe that should be all of the offense. So of course we're going to want to unlock the healer. That's a big deal for our war attack, which is going to be giant healer. So we'll need the healers unlocked. And of course we'll need to get all those things upgraded in the lab. So when the lab finishes, what are we going to focus on? So I guess it depends on what you want to farm with. Personally, I'm going to be farming with goblins, but we're going to take a look at a couple of other armies to that you guys can farm with at this level if you're still at this point in the game. Since I'm farming with goblins, goblins will be the first thing I upgrade in the lab when it finishes. And then after goblins, I'm going to work on other farming troops. So I will get barbarians and archers done. And then after that, I'm going to focus on my war army, which will be the giants and the healers. And then other stuff, we'll see as we go along what we do there. So start off with your laboratory upgrading your farming troops. That way you have the strongest troops that you can use for farming and building up your resources. So as you upgrade your town hall, you might notice something called a loot penalty. And basically what that is when you're hitting town halls in random attacks that are a certain number of town halls lower than you. So if you hit a town hall that's a Town Hall 5 and you're a Town Hall 6, you can only get 80% of the loot that would have been available to you if you were a Town Hall 5. So if you're a Town Hall 6 and you're hitting a couple of levels lower, they reduce it even further. I think it's like 50% for 2 Town Halls down. And these percentages and numbers, they stay consistent for all of the Town Hall levels. So like a Town Hall 11 would only get 50% of the loot from a Town Hall 9. And that's why it might seem a little bit difficult at first when you're early on in a Town Hall level trying to farm bases. But we do have 3 different armies in the quick train that we're going to take a look at. We got the goblins, of course, the Barch, that's barbarians and archers. And then we didn't name this one. This is the G-Barch, J-Barch, whatever you want to call it. It's just the Barch with giants. So we'll go ahead and name that army. And we will do 2 attacks of each of these. I think before I said the minimum amount I was looking for was like 20,000. So at this level, the minimum I'm going to accept is 50,000. And since we need to do a lot of elixir heavy upgrades, elixir is going to be the go-to resource. So I want to see at least 50,000 elixir. Trophies don't matter, gold doesn't matter. That's going to be the goal, and that's what we'll look for on these bases that we hit. So let's get started with some of these raids. So right off the bat, we found a base with 93,000 elixir. Let's go ahead and take a look here. There's a lot of elixir in there. I don't know if we can reach that. But there's also a good bit over here. We can get at least half of it. And that's still going to be close to the 50,000 range, so we're going to go ahead and go for it. The first thing you should do is drop a barbarian, check for any clan castle troops, because something like a Valkyrie or a dragon, you might as well just skip the base. Take the loss on trophies. But nothing's in there, so what you want to do with barbarians and archers is basically send them in little waves. So barbarians go down, their main goal in a spot like this is just to tank. So we're going after those gold mines. Archers are shooting over the walls, getting the gold, and the barbarians distract the defenses. So the barbarians died out. They actually got through the wall there, a couple of them did. And then the archers died out after the barbarians. So we'll do the same thing. We don't want to spend too many before we get what we came here to get, because there is a wizard tower up here to deal with. So we want to make sure we get a good spread on these troops. So all of the barbarians are in. And we'll put all the archers in behind. We're actually going to hold some back. So we'll let them move in, and get some things worked on. Because you don't want all of your archers in one spot if they start to get hit by any traps, any splash damage, stuff like that. So archers moving in. Let's go ahead and get another wave going in. And then we'll hold on to this last 17 or so. It's just an arbitrary number, it's just where I stopped. But we're going to hold on to those troops and send them down here at the gold, unless we need to send them over here to try and get more of that elixir. So we're down to about 50,000 right now. To get our 50,000, we want to see that closer to 40. So they should get a good bit here. The mortar's going to start firing. I don't know if they can... I don't think it can reach all of those archers, so we should be fine. I know it can reach those bottom ones, but these ones up here should be out of range. So we're all the way down to 16,000 now on the elixir. So we got a really good amount of that. We'll send in the rest of the archers, let the army die off, and then see what we get. Alright, so we got the gold. Let's go ahead and end it. So yeah, we did pretty well there. Let's do that one more time. Alright, so here we go. We've got 110,000 elixir on this base. All of the elixir is down here on this side, and the wizard towers are up here on the top side. We're not going to worry about this gold at all. We will worry a little bit about this elixir and that storage there, but of course most of it, you can see that the pumps, the collectors are full. So that's where the vast majority of this elixir is going to be at. The storage right here looks pretty full, but that's because it's a low level, so it really can't hold much. So let's go ahead and dive into this. We will let the barbarians go down, and they need to work through that wall. A couple of them are going to go around. We don't really want the we don't want the archers to go around. We want them to go in. So we let the barbarians break the wall, and then we send in a wave of archers. So you can see already we're getting a lot of that elixir. We're hitting one of the storages, and we're getting the collectors there. So there's going to be next to nothing left in the storage up there. But we're going to go ahead and send in some more barbarians and some more archers. So that archer tower is going to go down. Both of the archer towers are down. So we're going to get pretty good percentage on this as well. And then they're going to keep working around the outside. That wizard tower will become a problem for the barbarians, but I think the archers are going to stay out of range of that. They're going to get the town hall, and there is loot stored in the town hall as well. So if you can get the town hall down, there's some extra loot there as well. So since we got the elixir, we can go ahead and go for some of this gold. We need to spread out the barbarians to distract the mortar, and then get the archers in to do the damage. So there they go. Let's see what we can get out of that. It's going to take them a little bit to get through their storages, but they're working through. Barbarians are dying off, but now the archers are getting to the gold mines, and that's where all the gold's at. So not bad. It looks like we're going to get all of the loot off of this base. Plus we get the 74%, so we get the bonuses as well. We'll just go ahead and let this army run out and then see what we get. It's not going to be a triple because of the splash damage up top. You'll see that wizard tower is going to take out the archers, so we'll call that there. And that's a pretty good run. We got just a little bit before the next army's ready. We're going to go ahead and start the upgrade on the spell factory. So we will get the heal spells. I'm not doing anything with a lightning spell anyway, so not a big deal letting this spell factory be down for a little while. Okay, so this one's perfect, and it's taking me about 4 or 5 searches, so clicking the next button about 4 or 5 times before I find a base that has at least 50,000 elixir on it. So we do have the giants and the barbarians and archers, so we will take a look at how that makes a bit of a difference. So we have the splash damage in the core, not a big deal there. We are going to do the same thing, check for any clan castle troops. So if there are clan castle troops, that does change things quite a bit. Okay, so the barbarian died, there's nothing in there, that's great. What we'll do then is send in 3 giants, a little wave of barbarians to clear out some of them outside buildings, and then back them up with the archers getting that DPS onto those buildings. So we're going to get that elixir out of those collectors. Check the corners, make sure there are no collectors or storages in the corners. Sometimes people do that, I don't understand why, but just something to watch out for. Okay, so we'll send 2 more giants, and that's good on the barbarians, so it doesn't leave us with a whole lot more. And then we'll do that with the archers. So that should give for a little bit more tanking while the archers work on that storage. So the barbarian's working through the gold storage. They do have that wizard tower distracted as well as the cannon. The giants are dead now, but all these archers are about to turn and get that storage taken out. So we have just a couple of troops left. Before we drop them anywhere, we want to make sure that storage goes down. So the storage does go down. What we'll do now, since we're looking for elixir, we're not going to get to the town hall, but we might be able to get something out of that CC, plus we can get some gold out of that storage. If you really wanted the extra gold, you could go for those mines. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's go for the clan castle. So, tanking troops are down. You can see they're triggering bombs there. That's going to help the archers out tremendously. I don't know if we have enough firepower to take the clan castle down, but we're going to give it a try. So the archers, they are converging now, moving in, getting that thing taken down. Let's see if we get anything out of it. So it is going to go down. The mortar's starting to shoot the archers now, but it goes down, and we got some elixir out of it. I didn't see how much. Probably not a lot. But it's a good spot to put the last bit of your troops. And that is what we got out of the raid. Alright, going in for the second Jibarch attack. Let's see what we get. Alright, so here we go. This is actually a great target here. Pretty soft, no wizard towers, just one mortar. And we can see there is a hole in the base. Actually, I lied. There is a wizard tower right here. So, let's see. We're going to go at this a bit differently than we have before. Let's go ahead and drop some troops in that hole there. Trigger traps. And then we're going to actually send the giants in a big group instead of sending them in a wave like we had before. They're going to go for that air defense. And then they're going to hopefully go in for the mortar. So we will go ahead and do that. We did find a spring trap, so the barbarian did not trigger that. And we're actually going to go ahead and send the CC as well, just because I have it. So it's going to help push through some things there. And then, so we want that to help push the giants through that air defense a bit quicker. Needed to get to that mortar, get the mortar taken down. And then that's going to open up basically this whole side of the base once the mortar goes down. So the Valkyrie's in there helping work through those buildings. The giants are all dead. They don't stay up very long at level 2. Now the mortar's gone, we can start sending in barbarians. So we're just going to spam them in a little bit at a time, so not all at once. I should have actually sent them in from the outside of the base. But, that's fine. It works. They're not taking splash damage, so it's not really a big deal. Plus, they're not hitting traps, so that's fine. So all the barbarians are in, we'll start sending in the archers. We don't want them to run too far ahead of the barbarians, of course. Let's also send some... Actually, we can send quite a few from that side. We'll send a few more in here behind the barbarians. And then we're going to spam the rest over here. So I didn't get quite as much of a push as I would have wanted from that side over there. The barbarians are going to work through some of this elixir over here. They're tanking for the archers still, so that's good. And then the archers over here are doing pretty well. So that wizard tower is distracted. Now it's going to shoot at the archers. But they got most of that elixir out of there. This storage is getting pretty well emptied out as well. I am going to leave a good bit on the field just because I took kind of a weird approach to the base. It didn't quite pan out the way I'd hoped. But I got at least 45,000, so that's not bad. Let's actually look back and see how much these armies cost. So you can see up here, that Jibarch army, that cost 15,000. So you could even go lower than 50,000 if you wanted to and still make a profit. You could go like 35,000, make more than double what it cost. The goblins, of course, are the cheapest of these armies, just 8,000 for that. And then the Barch is just slightly cheaper without the giants. So we've got just a couple of these goblin armies again. We'll just throw a couple more of these attacks up on the screen real quick and wrap up this video. Okay, so this is a massive find here. And this is one of the reasons why I prefer goblins, because I'm going to be able to target specifically the resources on this base. And there's a lot of resources on this base. So let's see. We have wizard towers down here. We can easily avoid that. One mortar over here, very low level. We do have the king to worry about, kind of. I mean, we have a lot of goblins, so basically we're just going to send the goblins. I think town hall side is going to be the best way. I don't know. It doesn't look like there are any traps in there at all. So we're going to try and do the 3 fingers here. Let's see if we can get this right. And just spam them in. But we're going to wait a little bit. We don't want to send them all at once. We want to send them in waves. So that double mortar is actually doing significant damage. A lot more than I would have thought. We're down to 67 goblins. We're going to send some more down here. And then maybe send some from the backside. Let's see. So this is working out pretty well. So all the goblins are in. I don't really have to worry about the defenses. Let's see if they can get to that last elixir collector. Yep, they got it. Perfect. So yeah, goblins can go straight for the resources. They do not have to worry about taking down the defenses. And that's the end of that battle. So that was a great find there. We might be able to do... Yeah, we can get an army camp going. Perfect. And I think the clan castle is 800,000, so not quite ready for that yet. I don't know how much I have in the treasury. Just 100,000. So I'll keep that in mind. We'll give this a few more seconds and then go for one last attack before we wrap things up here. Okay, so we found another Town Hall 8, it looks like. And it has 100,000, so if we can grab half of that, we'll be in good shape. Alright, so not too worried about the gold. Of course, we do want some gold if we can get it. There are actually no defenses up here, so we'll send a few goblins in. They can get at least some of that gold. And in the meantime, we're going to try and focus on the elixir. Try to get the goblins to break into different points in the wall so they're not all clumping up like that. Of course, once there are holes in the wall, they just want to run to the holes. Then we'll keep trickling them in until the storages are down. So we have kind of a double whammy up here. That wizard tower is taking out my wizards my goblins very quickly. But it looks like we got all of that elixir. There's a little bit right here. Same thing with some gold. So the rest of that is going to be in the town hall. And I don't believe we can get the town hall. So from here, we're just going to go after the gold. Anything more than that is just a bonus. So get a few goblins down, break the wall, and then 2-finger drop the rest of them in. And then just hang back, see what they do. They are finding some traps in there. They're going for the town hall now. Let's see what they can do. Now, there are too many defenses there. So that's it for that raid. Knocking it out of the park. So that will be it for this video. I think I pretty well covered all of the basics for starting out for Town Hall 6. In the future videos, we're going to take a look, like I mentioned before, we'll take a look at some attacks, some base designs, some of the good stuff leading into Town Hall 7. So from here, I'm going to work on building this base up and get some things ready for the next part of this series. If you want to catch some of my Town Hall 13 stuff, that will be coming soon as well. I'll have some videos lined up for that. I'm not sure if I said Town Hall 12, but I feel like I did. But Town Hall 12, Town Hall 13, some of the higher Town Hall level stuff, I've got actually a few things on the way. And again, if you want to catch any of my live stream stuff, my Twitch is down below. You can click that follow button and turn on notifications, and you will get an alert that will tell you when I'm live. You can also join my Discord server, which is also linked down below. Keep an eye on that, and I post in there, well, I have a bot that posts in there automatically when I'm live. I actually am getting my sub badges and my emotes later today, maybe tomorrow, so I've got some new art coming to the channel, which is very exciting. But that is all I've got. If you guys like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more Clash of Clans content, be sure to click that subscribe button. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I will see you all next time.